3-wheel forklift for industrial purposes. Abstract. In general, the forklift can be defined as the machine capable of lifting heavy weights that is difficult for an ordinary human being to lift. It is similar to vehicle, but the addition of 2 forks to lift the weight makes the difference. The operator using these forks can lift any heavyweight material on a click of button without any effort. The forklift operator just pushes the fork below the weights, and up to a certain distance the weights are lifted above in air so that they can be moved accordingly as per the requirement. Keywords: forklift, machine, lift, weights, forks. Chapter 1, Introduction. A forklift truck is one of the most used machines employed for several types of tasks. They range from warehouse use to large-scale industry with multiple locations. They make lifting of heavy objects fast and a whole lot easier than manual lifting. There is a wide range of forklifts to select from, going well with your particular requirements and necessities. Rough-terrain forklift trucks are used primarily in new construction work locations and areas where you may be on dirt or loose gravel. Forklift trucks are either powered by propane, electricity, gasoline, or diesel. Electric forklift trucks rely on the batteries to operate. Propane or gasoline forklifts are faster or stronger than electric forklifts, but they're more difficult in maintenance, and fuel can be costly. The electric forklift trucks are great for the warehouse use as they don't give off noxious fumes like the gas-powered machines do. Forklifts are often used in the warehouses, however, some of them are meant to be used outdoors. Vast majority of rough-terrain forklift trucks operate on propane or gasoline, but some of them are powered by natural gas or diesel. Rough-terrain forklifts have the greatest lifting capacity of the entire forklifts and heavy-duty tires, making it likely to drive on uneven surfaces outdoors. Forklifts have revolutionized the warehouse work. Well-maintained and safely operated forklift trucks make lifting and transporting cargo infinitely easier. The most popular forklift types on the market today are warehouse forklift, side loader, counterbalance forklift, telehandler, industrial forklift, rough-terrain forklift, pallet jack, walkie stacker, order picker, reach fork truck. Chapter 2, Literature Survey. A survey. The first contribution toward scientific material handling instrumentality seems to possess been the 2-wheel go-kart. During this we tend to square measure move the fabric, however not carry it. In 1906, a political candidate of the Pennsylvania Railroad at Altoona, supplementary accumulator power to a baggage wagon, it absolutely was the primary power truck. The primary transportable elevator on record within the Patent and Trademark Office database was engineered of wood in 1867, with upright, cantilever platform, and a hoist. One of the first efforts to mix horizontal and vertical motion was in 1887, once a crude truck capable of lifting its platform some inches was built. This was most likely the primary application of the unit load principle with skids. Then in 1909, once the primary all-steel carry truck appeared. An advantage of combined vertical and horizontal handling ability. It took a kind of tiny crane mounted on a platform truck. The introduction of hydraulic power and therefore the development of the primary electrical power self-propelled vehicle, beside the utilization of standardized pallets within the late 1930s. In 1954, a British company named State Capital Bagnall, currently a part of KION Cluster, developed what was claimed to be the primary slim-aisle electrical reach truck. Throughout 50s to 1960s, operator safety became a priority because of the increasing lifting heights and capacities. In our project, we tend to square measure exploitation the battery power for the horizontal movement the vehicle and therefore the human power to carry the fabric. From the bottom. It's same because the first self-propelled vehicle beside the battery power that was used in 1913 truck the easy mechanical mechanism for the lifting the fabric. B scope. Project work 3-wheel drive forklift for industrial warehouse is aimed to elevate the load with the assistance of chain drive. The most blessings of exploitation this can be to simply handle significant load by solely switching on the motor. It will increase the productivity. The system is meant and developed with success, for the demonstration purpose paradigm model, mini model, would be built in future. After collection the go back numerous journal we tend still as analysis paper there's great deal of fuel is wasted by elevating a load or significant material thus we came to conclusion that manual motor lift is that the solely thanks to stop such industrial issue like ability operators solely will operate don't seem to be needed, significant load handling and therefore the main advantage of this self-propelled vehicle is most effective, low cost and increase productivity. Most of all the fossil fuel saving could be a major concern by exploitation hydraulic jack self-propelled vehicle. We will use human brain similarly as hands and legs and operate a self-propelled vehicle and thereby nullifying the possibilities of accident. Our project options a simple electrical heart and a simple mechanical body. As this could be the sole one, we have straightforward quick the speed of the vehicle for manual operational. It's typically become any elegant application. Considering the project time and everybody the specified steps, we tend to terminate this project is that the proper one. Since merely a simple modification in its mechanical arm and movement suggests that, we'll convert into any golem which can perform a special style of work. We'll use our human brain additional as body and legs to chop back external offer and wire. As this could be the sole one. It's typically become any elegant application. We tend to return to conclusion that operated by hand the vehicle is cut back the worth of skilled worker and any worker can have used our vehicle additional because of its safe, cheap, and straightforward to use and increase the productive. See market analysis. The market survey lets the firm to understand and realize the real demand and potential for the product under consideration. First and foremost, it is necessary to establish that the proposed product will fulfill a demand in the market or not, what is supposed to do, and the service it can offer to the consumers. So, we take the survey for our prototype in Safar Agency, Vaise Virar East. Their requirement of miniature forklift that can lift the component up to 500 kilograms economically. After we surveyed in our institute we can found that the educational engineering apparatus up to 50 kilograms is not easy to move from one place to another place. So the miniature forklift is required to design that can utilized for lifting load up to 50 kilograms. The material required for the frame was selected according to the low in cost, availability, and strength. A square tube is the best as it will provide adequate strength and less in weight. Selecting any section of I or C type would give strength more but it will be an over-designed structure according to the capacity. The warning lights and sound is compiled in a small circuit system that includes small system and the PCB would be bought at Visha and Vega KIT, in Grant Road, Mumbai. The wheels of electric vehicle would be available as tire stores 4 Season, in Mahalakshmi. They have an inventory of recycling old tires and would be available in cheaper rates and according to the requirement wheel height. Chain drive system is available at the Sakinaka Patel workshop, Sakinaka. The best economical manufacturer in the budget. Steel plate for the frame above support system would be available easily at best workshop at Sonata Cruz. Demanufacturing scenario. The manufacturing process of the project would be done at the workshop. The availability of the workshop is at one of our group members in Masjiaon. All the equipments required for manufacturing like cutter, grinder, welding equipments, and other safety equipments are available. Chapter 3, Proposed System. A methodology. The industrial forklift are huge in size. Though they have several advantages, there is a need for better forklift model for small-scale purposes. Concern is to be given to improve the following aspects in the existing forklift. The frame should have high load-taking capability. The frame should provide a better stability to the whole system. Reducing the size for small-scale industrial purposes having space constraint. The manufacturing cost should be minimized by minimizing components used and making it efficient in working. B. Design details. Forklift description. A forklift is a machine which helps in moving a heavy load from place to place as per the requirement. It provides an industry to work efficiently and it's much time saving in optimization of a working cycle. Functions of forklift. Its function is to transport the goods over short distance as when the requirement occurs. It must control the load and goods in the correct alignment to meet the conflicting requirements of stable running on straight track and good curving performance with low track wear. At same time, it must also provide acceptable ride levels in the vehicle to which it is fitted, under a wide range of track conditions. Support the goods being lifted. Run stably on both straight and curved track. Ensure good ride comfort by absorbing vibration generated by track irregularities and minimizing impact. Minimize energy or manpower required to lift a weight. Forklift have forks to lift the weight easily and manually, brake arrangement, axle box guide and many other parts which are welded to the frame. The main purpose of the forklift is to transfer the load from a manufacturing area to the inventory area of the industry efficiently, and it would be time-saving approach. These wheels support the load, transferring the force of the load to the rear part, hence transferring the overall CG point of the forklift. Working principle. The wheel shaft is connected with arrangement of a motor. This motor is used to run the vehicle. Battery is connected to the motor. The motor is connected to the chain drive to increase the torque and is directly coupled to the wheel by means of a bearing block which runs the vehicle. Motor is controlled by the control unit. This vehicle causes no pollution. In front of the Segway, the forklift arrangement is mounted. The sprocket is used to lift the fork and used to move up and down. The most important consideration of designing a forklift is the safety. While the forklifts is during the loading and moving stability system consists of 3 point of contacts, 2 front wheel drives and supporting the rear wheel contact axle arranged on safely mounted. Figure 1, 3-point contact. Forklift components. Forklifts are very important in safe and industrial operations and in performing some functions. The forklift are the undercarriage which supports the goods. In mechanical terms, a forklift consists of a chassis or framework with wheels, thus serving as a modular sub-assembly of wheels and axles. The forklift has following components. A. Forklift frame. The forklift frame is known as the main supporting system. The bogie frame is either casted or fabricated. The forklift frames are manufactured based on its working conditions. It is the main component which takes the stresses. The forklift frame is designed in such a way that it can take the load of the goods, operator as well as the components attached to it with proper body weights balance. B. Forks. The forks are the main element which are made to take up the load of the goods being lifted. These are the most stressed elements as it involves variable loading condition during lifting and loading. These components are generally low in cost and made up of cast iron. Hence such elements need to be analyzed properly, and a proper maintenance should be done by removing the rust scales, polishing or others. Add 500 amount.png. Figure 2, fork. C. Brake. A pair of drum brake is provided on driving wheel. The brake actuating mechanism would be underlying the frame next to the connected with the link mechanism such that it would lock the axle when required. WhatsApp image June 13, 2020 at 12.17.09.jpg. Figure 3, drum brake. D. Motor. The driving axle would be connected to the motor with the help of chain drive. It drives the axle through chain drive. The sprocket is mounted on the axle and will be connected to the driving axle connected with 2 front wheels. Motor.jpg. Figure 4, high-geared motor. E. Chain drive. The chain drive will be used in the system to increase the gear ratio or increase torque transmitting capability to the driving wheels, as would require high starting torque due to its own weight and the external load, goods. The larger sprocket would be mounted on the driving axle shaft and it would be connected via key and sprocket, and the smaller gear would be mounted on the motor. The material for chain is medium carbon steel blank form cold rolled sheet hardened to 50 HRC. The pin, bushes, and rollers are made up of case carbonizing alloy steel and hardened to 50 HRC as well. Chain.jpg. Figure 5, chain and sprocket drive. F. Shaft. A shaft is for mounting the wheels, gears. It is designed based on the ASME code approach, as it is very convenient and conservative approach to get an accurate dimension of the shaft. The most popularly used shaft material would be medium carbon steel due to its properties of low in cost, readily available, high toughness, good strength and high load taking capability. SHFT.jpg. Figure 6, shaft. G. Square tubes. The square tubes form support structure to the body of the forklift. This structure is always under a repeated loading condition as the requirement vary according the load or application. These are made of mild steel material with appropriate strength and having the property of good weldability. SQR-tube.jpg. Figure 7, square tube. H. Actuators. The actuators like accelerator would be used to control the speed, brake mechanism, switches to turn on the motor. I. Wheels. The wheels of two different type would be used. The front wheels would of same type and would vary from rear. The front wheels have their center at good height so that a good amount of ground clearance would be achieved, and it also help the goods to at proper and safe height from the ground so that it doesn't cause any harm while moving the object. This also propose an important cause of getting the shift of center of gravity of the forklift at rear, which would avoid its toppling. The front wheel used would be of active bike. WhatsApp image June 5, 2020 at 15.31.05.jpg. Figure 8, front wheel. Positive caster wheels.jpg. Figure 9, rear wheel. J. Steel plate. These plates would be mounted as a platform above the frame and will carry the load of the operator. These plates are of steel having grids to provide a good frictional grip. These can be popularly observed in the best buses. Checkered plate, 2 mm to 20 mm, Rs 39,000/metric ton, Gulati steel. Figure 10, steel base plate. K. Warning lights. These are provided to show that the forklift is engaged. Blitz's Cyborg 180. Figure 11, warning light. L. Warning indicator circuit. These are provided to indicate the forklift is in performing its operation. Chapter 4, Design of Forklift. A. Design of forks. Moment of inertia of fork. Mesh sizes calculated by plotting a graph between deformation and mesh size from 1 mm to 15 mm for various iterations. Hence a mesh size of 7 mm is selected as the deformation becomes constant. It means that there will be negligible changes in the accuracy of the results on the further reduction in the mesh size. See Design of Ergonomics. Figure 17, average waist height. 1. Determine height of handle from base. Female. A. Taking average of male and female mean. 997.9 plus 1072.5/2 equals 1035.2 mm. As we know, in workplaces workers always wears shoes or any kind of footwear, so the thickness of footwear is also to be taken into account. So considering normal shoe sole is approximately 25.4 mm. B. Adding this extra height in average. 1035.2 plus 25.4 equals 1060.6 mm. So the height of handle from base is 1060 mm. 2. Determine width of handle. Female. Frame pic.png. Figure 18, base frame. Frame is being made using square tube made up of mild steel having good properties, and it can be way better to make using these material as it is less in cost, readily available and sufficient material property for the purpose it is used in. A. Frame analysis. Stress, von Mises. Capture von Mises.png. Figure 19, stress on base frame. Factor of safety. Figure 20, FOS of frame. FOS.png. Deformation. Capture stress.png. Figure 21, total deformation of frame. E-handle. The handle has been added and many holes are provided such that the driver can adjust the handle accordingly to his comfort. The selected handle is of hollow type as it would be in low in cost, less in weight, and the throttle wires can be incorporated through it. 1. Inner handle. Innerhandle.png. Figure 22, inner handle. 2. Outer handle. Outerhandle.png. Figure 23, outer handle. 3. Assembly. Assem of handle.png. Figure 24, Assembly of handle. F. Motor selection and load calculations. Selecting, PMDC, permanent magnet direct current, reversible motor, and we have following options. 12 volt non-geared, 12 volt geared, 24 volt non-geared, 24 volt geared. As we are lifting heavy load and our application is forklift. And we are not just lifting but also we have to stop weight at different height and again have to come down. For this we are going with PMDC 24V reversible geared motor and going with 1440 RPM as compromise between cost and performance. We are doing two different operations with the help of motor. Lifting, using one motor. Driving, using two motor on front tire with throttle. Lifting. For lifting, in which we are using motor with pulley and motor having power rating of 125W, which is giving approximately 170 Nm torque, which can lift easily up to 45 kg. Hence we are going with this PMDC reversible motor having this much of torque and output speed of 30 rpm. Load calculations. Total load that has to lifted by motor equals weight which has to lift plus F fork weight plus some extra. Since recommended maximum velocity of lifting is 8 to 10 m/min such that no accident takes place because of inertia. Velocity equals 6.59 m/min equals 8 m/min, hence safe. Driving. For driving we are using two motor on front tire separately of PMDC type because manufacturer are using same motor can easily take 80 kg load, as we are using two such motor can easily take 150 kg with throttle system, and motors are reversible and having output speed is 500, such we can use in reverse mode. It has to carry lifting mechanism weight in addition to that body, motor, and battery weights and drive at maximum up to 8 miles per hour, but in risky area it should operate at 3 miles per hour without load, and in loaded condition speed should not exceed 3 miles per hour as recommended for safety, as we know steering and braking of forklift are not so responsive, so it suggests take safety as government and industry norms. Load calculations. G. Battery calculations. Battery size in A equals times W equals total load equals 300 watt, assuming the maximum of 50 kg load can be lifted and drive the motor for the wheel as well. H equals backup time in hours equals 6 hours, assumption, for 4 HRS testing and 2 HRS for presentation. V equals battery voltage equals 12 volt. Equals 150 Ah, standard size available. Since the motor is of 24V, hence two batteries of 12V each would be connected in series. Download.jfif. H. Brake calculations. Brakes are very important system of any vehicle or machine. It is used to control vehicle I.E to make vehicle stop or slowing down the speed. It does this by converting mechanical energy into heat energy by means of friction. In our case our brake force boost by means of lever, spring, and other parts. And we are going with drum as matter of cost and accessibility in loaded vehicle. The normal man can generate maximum 45 Newton force with one hand. Because of mechanical linkage it maximizes by 3 to 4 times. J. Wheel loads. The below figure shows the load acting on the wheel due to the components involved in the forklift. The brake torque would be developed on the wheel while braking, and that would be equal to 8.8 Nm. The maximum turning moment on the wheels due to the driven motor would be 170 Nm. Motor wheel assem.png. Figure 27, wheel loads. K. Weight distribution. The weight distribution would be 50, 50 in front and back. The driver's weight would be accounted in the rear. L. Steering system. Figure 28, steering diagram. Steering.png. Turning mechanism. The turning mechanism is the best and innovative here rather than ordinary four-wheeled forklifts. The drive or the power would be given to the front two wheels independent of each other and would be driven with a motor. Since the wheel would have a braking system involved in each left turn scenario. Here the wheel on the right would be given drive while the left front wheel would act as a pivot point. If in case some slip occurs in the according to floor conditions, then the brake could be applied on the left wheel as the brakes of the two front wheel are independent. Left turn.png. Figure 29, left turn scenario. Right turn scenario. Now the right wheel would act as a pivot point and the power would be provided to the left front wheel, and in slip conditions the right wheel could be stopped. Right turn.png. Figure 30, right turn scenario. On place turn scenario. B pie chart. Figure 32, pie chart. Chapter 6, Advantages and Disadvantages. Advantages. Longer life. Minimum noise level. Suitable for indoor use. Eco-friendly operation. It can be also used in hazardous areas. Huge advantage is that it does not have fossil fuel cost. The electric forklift has zero emissions and hence safe and healthy. It can also be called green forklift. Less maintenance due to minimum mechanical components used. Small-scale industries can also incorporate these forklifts. Minimum turning radius. Disadvantages. Amount of load is limited. Less speed. Trained personnel needed to control. They are usable only indoor purpose. Forklift 2.jpg. Figure 34, forklift model. The turning radius would be minimum. Low in cost. Less hazardous to environment. No fossil fuel required. Eco-friendly operations. Can be incorporated in low-scale industries. Small in size compared to regular forklifts. Good load carrying capacity. Tough and compatible for small purpose. Conclusion. The development of mechanical forklift assures the ergonomically comfort to the operator or worker and to reduces time required for manual lifting and handling. This increases the productivity and it provides safety of operator while handling of the material.